So I'm Dylan Berger. I'm a scientist at the Ottawa Hospital Research Institute and an assistant professor at the University of Ottawa.
So tell me a bit about your lab's research.
So my lab's interested in markers of vascular injury and kidney injury, so sort of predictive markers. Oftentimes you're not using a full incubator, it's not full. You're using a ton of CO2 to supply one set of cells, and so having a smaller setup for smaller applications is very beneficial. The other reason it's very beneficial is in training. I'm a student-run lab largely, and we are frequently training people to learn cell culture. And in the process of learning, you often get contamination. If you're using a large shared incubator, that impacts your whole lab. It can affect productivity. If you're using a single, individual use incubator, then it's restricted to the person who gets the contamination. So very big deal there. The CO2 usage is a big one. The Model 1 I'm using right now barely uses any whatsoever. It purges quickly, and then it's essentially in steady state. We're not seeing much in the way of leaks, and so it uses quite a bit less CO2, and so that's cost savings obviously, and just hassle savings as well, not having to order them. So I mean, we've been fortunate that we haven't had contamination in the time that I've had the Model 1. I feel more confident running big projects in my lab because I don't have the risk of a trainee sort of ruining those, and so you can increase the scope of projects knowing that. And yeah, I think probably most people don't think about how much waste goes into a large incubator in terms of space in their lab, in terms of resources going into it, and I didn't until I started using this a little bit more, and we bought a second system because we realized very quickly that we were going to be using these so heavily, and I think that's really the key is just understanding how much waste we are using with a standard incubator on any given day. There's still applications for it, but I don't think we're always using them to their full capacity, and it's a lot easier to do that with an Incuvers Model 1. And then it's just a flexibility. Most conventional incubators don't have the option of running hypoxia in them as well, or if they do, it's very expensive. We use hypoxia in modeling cell culture to mimic a phenomenon in the body which is called ischemia. And the system itself is perfect for that because most hypoxic chambers are very large. And again, it comes back to the gas use issue. It takes a lot of gas, a lot of nitrogen in this case, to purge the system of oxygen. And so you're going through a tank or 2 tanks every time you do this. The smaller chamber and it being so airtight works really well for this purpose. And generally speaking, you're not doing hypoxia on large volumes of cells. Sometimes people do it because of the way the hypoxic chambers are set up, but generally speaking, it's a small experiment. You do not need a large profile, and so this sort of gets around some of those limitations of the other systems that we've used in the past.